It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Off my dome, off my dome, off my dome, off my dome, off my dome.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying, loud enough.
I just left a light in this bitch.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Your feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk. Killed the monkey. Threw the bat out the window. Start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Be rude. Be
enough of the sounds. Now time to, instead of the sounds, it's time to hear me get down. Whoever gets this, whoever space, time, subject matter, whoever gets this, you get it, and I'm joyful you to be here. So thank you very much for coming. You know I always start. I am the pickleball god, and what is this? Oh, okay. I am the pickleball god, so I have to tell you about my pickleball experience today. Like I always do, I start off with the pickleball play. I only played an hour and a half. You know, I played almost 3 hours every day. Every day this week, I played almost 3 hours. So today, I cut that in half. I only played. See, today I only burned 1,700 calories. I went walking though. I went to the outlet. 15 minutes of exercise and 10 hours of standing. 8,900 steps, which is 400 miles. Average heart rate looks like 69 minutes. 5 floors. Where did it say? Ooh. And my workout was almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I went a little longer than I thought. My heart rate went up to, I was able to really get my heart up today. And I'm telling you, I didn't get tired at all. I got my heart rate up to 258. 258, baby. Working that sucker. Worked that sucker to death. Was never tired. I lost the first game. I won 5 games in a row, lost the last one. So I think I went 5-2. And one game, we almost pickled a team. I had a dude, I was like, man, let me hurry up and get this first point because I don't know if I'm going to get any more. We ended up beating the team 11-1. I mean, we could have pickled them. And I don't like pickling people, which means they don't score. And I hit one. I said I hit it hard on purpose, kind of, sort of. I don't like pickling people. But with that guy, we beat him easy. Like what I remember, what my day is the mistakes I made. I really looked at a mistake because one play I have is if people engage with me in 2 or 3 shots, I'm pretty much going to score. Like if I hit it to somebody and they hit it back to me and I hit it back to them, their return shot, I normally scored. I missed it twice today. Once, I meant to bring my paddles up here, but once my paddle was like going this way instead of this way. Second time, I didn't even hardly get it around to hit the side of the paddle and went out. And this is like what I set myself up for. And so it's just a matter of getting paddle placements. But I made some really good plays, consistent. I don't think I messed any of my serves up. And I'm in good shape. And you see, I almost played 2 hours. I really was trying to hold around to the 1 hour play, but I was able to get it up to 2 hours. So that was kind of cool. And the party people in here today are Sir William Ray. Well, thank you. Yes, it is. I love this old stuff because this stuff is just disappearing. This stuff is disappearing. They don't want this stuff. But Sir William Ray, thank you for joining me. And to be here with me, you definitely got to have vision. And my man Anthony G, thank you for joining me. And I know you definitely got to have vision. No, I don't want that. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it for coming in. Whoever listens, whenever you listen, I'ma do me and tell you about my experience. All right. So today is my daughter's 12th birthday, my youngest child. She turns the big 12. You know, she's a young lady now. She's about 5'6" almost. She's a little shorter than her mother. Her mother's 5'7", 5'8". So we're getting an Apple Watch, so we got to go pick up her Apple Watch. She wants canary yellow or some shit. So I bought her this little shirt because she wanted cons. This is some shit a young lady would wear, I guess. Because I was going to buy her these shoes a long time ago, but her mother reminded I was going to buy these shoes back in June. Because I bought her the white platform one she wanted. And these are called, these are called the 70s Highs. These are called the 70s Highs, and instead of, you know, this being canvas, this is more out. Now this is some history for y'all. This is some history for y'all. Let me show you. Now, again, this to me has so many memories. To a lot of you, you know, you probably don't understand what it was like to get your first pair of these as a hooper, as a real hooper. There wasn't a whole lot of shoes out. And at 10, 11, to get a pair of these that the older dudes wore, I mean, the experience, it's a different whole new experience today. Like, people don't understand. Now, little shoe history. If you couldn't afford a pair of the Chuck Taylors, you couldn't afford these, you could get what was called a Converse Coach. I've told this story before. And the difference was, as you see here, you see really kind of two plies of canvas. See how you see the white ply and this ply? And the other one would just be like, say, the inside would just be all black. It would just be, so it was called the Converse Coach. This shoe, back when I was 10 years old in 1969, 1970, no, I think I got my first pair in 71. $12 for the Converse. The Converse Coach was like 8 or 9. So my stepfather bought me a pair of the Converse Coaches, and I later kind of complained to my dad. I'm like, you know, I can't be wearing these. What can you do? And I remember my stepfather saying he would never spend $12 for a pair of shoes. And I remember when I went to college, he bought my brother a pair of, it was like $40, $50 when he played on the team. But I'm like, yeah, okay. Because I don't think he ever bought me another pair of shoes. But anyway, so this is what I'm getting my daughter. This is what she wanted. So. And so I'm going to give them to her. And in like May or June, the end of school, I bought her a pair of the platform kind. But y'all know how I am when I go to the outlet. I just don't get shit for somebody else. I buy shit for me too. Wasn't really looking for nothing. But end up getting these. And these are called the Nike Air Zoom GT2 Cuts. Randall wore them, Booker wore them, and they was on sale at the outlet. And I'll say this, they had one pair of LeBron XXTs, I think they're called. I put them on and compared them to these. I was like, I'm getting these. These were way more comfortable than the LeBron NXXTs, I think they're called. And these were listed as at 109. Because I'm like a Nike member, I got these for $87. And these will be excellent pickleball shoes as well. So, you know, I'm a sneakerhead, but I tried on the Durants. Then I tried these motherfuckers. I was like, oh, all this 4-foot. Yeah. So, you know, did I need them? Absolutely not. But we always buy shit we don't need. I hope everybody is feeling good this afternoon. Beautiful day here, mild to say the least. We did get a little rain last night, so much needed. I don't think I'm gonna have to water my plants today. What was it? It was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Maybe not. and had to run my son around. I'm kind of mad because my feet smell like coffee because the nigga, like I went in the house and I knew I should have went to the bathroom when I was at the gas station. And I would go in his house and I forgot before he came, he had a big jug of coffee and he spilled it all on the mat. And of course, when I took off my shoes, I stepped in the mat and I was like, damn. So now my new shoes smell like, not those, but another pair of my new shoes smell like coffee, but it's all right. They'll dry out. But oh, that's what I was looking for, the weather. Yeah, it's mild here. It's still, I'll tell you, the humidity must be up. It's 78 degrees. What is the humidity though? Because it's pretty sticky. It's pretty freaking sticky. Yeah, the humidity is 62% right now. So it's pretty sticky. When I came home this morning, I was soaked. And I learned something last night, fucking around in my car, fucking around with my old paddles. I can open my trunk and knock pickleballs in my trunk from like any distance. So that shit kind of helped. Because the key to pickleball, again, is keeping the ball low. And I was able to just pop balls in my trunk from the street. Again, I live in a community of like townhomes. But so there's no lot of traffic and shit. But yeah, I was able to, so that's interesting. So that you can pop, and then what's cool is you can put it where like the height of the net. So that's real cool. I'm up here and I don't know what I did with my chapstick. My chapstick is like, I don't see it. I know I wouldn't have took it anywhere because I only use this kind. Whoops. Show you again. Sugar water. I mean, this is just from the sugar. Starts to filter it. It's better if you let it sit overnight. But for even a pinch, it'll start activating the water. Active water. So I don't know where my damn chapstick is. Oh, football game comes on. We're going to the movies. We're going to miss the preseason game, which I don't really give a damn. So preseason games tonight. It's at least 2 in almost every market. 2 games tomorrow night too. You just football lovers. That'll be, you'll have access to that if you so desire. You're only gonna see the starters in the first series. They ain't gonna play very much. They don't want, it's stupid to get a star hurt during practice games. And remember, it used to be 6 practice games, and now there's only, I think, 3. Because practice games, the players, what the union, why they stopped so many preseason games is the veteran players hate it. Because you're not getting paid your salary. You're getting paid still per diem. Now, keep in mind, if you made the team, a lot of people would get their bonus rosters in March. The NFL season starts in March, so a lot of people would get their bonus rosters then. But for far as your contract, you're just getting per diem money when you're in camp and preseason. Now, preseason, you bring cap and you go back home. But again, you ain't getting that real bread. They housing you, and you ain't getting that real bread until I think it's that first Tuesday of the first NFL game. Like the games start Thursday, that follow. I think NFL players get paid on Monday or Tuesday, if I remember right. So that's why I think it's only 3 or 4. I think 3 or 4. Oh, and I haven't even looked to see what kind of debauchery is going on in town. I imagine that there is somewhere. If we look at it, we'll find some debauchery. And it's funny how people still Oh, I did see something peculiar. I saw something very peculiar. So coming off the highway, I went through the city, well, back in my area, not in Minneapolis, but back in my area, south of the cities. And instead of going highway to take my son home, I cut through one of the, local highways, how the highways had lights and shit. So kind of the back way. And we end up going to Prior Lake where my son lives. And we're coming from the gas station, and we see like 2 cop cars, a plain clothes officer just in his vest and shit, and the police. And I see the sister, this Mexican sister getting handcuffed. And then I see two Mexican brothers like detained or stopped, and they was carrying like a case apiece. Now I don't know if these niggas like went to the, because there's only one liquor store they could have got it from. Uh, I mean, you don't. They serve piss beer at the supermarket, so if you have to go to the liquor stores here, and so I think they stole the beer. I don't know. They didn't get very far. I mean, how far are you gonna get stealing two cases? Or maybe they bought the cases and she stole some shit. So I'm not quite sure. But yeah, they was hemming them motherfuckers up. So it was kind of funny seeing them all hemmed up and shit. So uh I need to clean this motherfucker. Oh, I'm getting on the Luca hookah. I've been taking edibles all day, so been feeling pretty nice. You know, I'm into the next stage for those of you that are into the next stage. Sean, what is happening? And I know down in New Zealand, you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
And we've got Derek. What's happening? And I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
All right, let's go through the locals. It was some local bullshit that happened again today. Little bit. I think we went through that yesterday. Why is this our story? Here we go. I think this is for those athletes. You understand that the teams are. Hey, Devontae, what's happening? Thank you for joining. And I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
This is talking about the Big Ten and the expansion, and I'm gonna let it play.
Tradition, how tradition might not be taking a back seat sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a program like Minnesota, we have tradition in the Big Ten, so it's not so much a concern for us. But in my opinion, more the merrier. It'll be fun to play those kind of teams, and I welcome them. Be a more fun schedule.
When you see the Big Ten's going to have 40 teams next year, what was your reaction when you heard that Washington and Oregon are coming aboard? And just in general, what's your reaction to how college football is changing?
It's it's different. Growing up, you always thought of the Big Ten as what the Big Ten used to be. But it's exciting. Think about, hey, we might be able to get to play new teams. Like usually you're playing these teams in non-conference games and bowl games, and there's only so many times you get to play these teams.
And let me interject. So they're bringing in Washington, and they're bringing in Oregon, and they're bringing in UCLA and USC. What's going to be really interesting is with those schools. Now, Washington and Oregon gets no, but USC and UCLA don't. And can you imagine USC going to Nebraska in October, or going to Michigan in October, or going to Michigan in November? Are going to Ohio State in October, November? Yeah, the California teams is going to take a little bit to adjust because remember, there was years where the Raiders was really good, but when the Raiders would come out east and play outdoors in the cold, they didn't do as well. Back when the Raiders had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. And so you can look at the colleges is going to go through that same experience. They're not going to be used to playing in the cold. Even here, the college has their own 50, 60,000. I think it holds 60,000. That's where Beyonce concert recently was there. It wasn't at the U.S. Bank. She held it at Gopher Stadium. So let the young men tell a little bit more of their tale.
But now, as the Big Ten's expanding, you're getting a lot more opportunity as a player. I think it's great for the Big Ten just to be able to, grow his name, but also grow those programs too. Whether they're, smaller program, that's obviously they're not small programs, but it's just a really cool opportunity to be able to, start with the Big Ten with, that 14 teams and, end with the Big Ten at 18 teams. So I think it's going to be a blast, get to play in some different venues, get to play some different teams, experience some new things. So I think it's going to be super fun.
Justin, you come from SEC country. You're seeing the Big Ten expanding with 4 more teams next year. What's your thoughts on that, and just the changes in college football in general?
Well, we just focus on this season right now. Working every day out there, get better, and just one game championship season every day.
He didn't really answer the question.
What's your thoughts on that and just the changes in college football in general?
I would say it's exciting. More competition in the Big Ten. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have offensive linemen too. That's what the Big Ten is known for. So I know they're gonna go get them offensive linemen. But yeah, I think it's exciting. Change is exciting. Yes, sir.
1 or 2 expanded to 18 teams next year. What's your thoughts on that with the new additions from out west and just on all the
Funny, look at her moving, all up moving. That's my children, back and forth, back and forth.
college football?
I've seen a little bit of it. It's pretty new, obviously.
So that's one exciting thing that's going on in this area. The Big Ten realignment. Another thing is I think you guys want to know this.
In Minnesota, there are
because I do catch my cats trying to get in my stash. So I want y'all to check this out. Inquiring minds want to know. What do y'all want to know? Check it out.
in Minnesota, there are a lot of questions about what happens if your pet accidentally.
I like the way the suit fits him, but this is definitely a Macy's shirt. This is definitely a Macy's shirt, but the suit fits him. This is stiff. Okay. This is stiff. I like it. I don't like his wig because this is a wig. Okay. This is African American. Glue it on your head, whatever you want to call it. That's a wig. But that's a Macy's shirt. Definitely a Macy's shirt. But the suit is stiff. And I even like her look. She's studious with the glasses. She kind of got the Gomez, what's her name? Something Gomez, the singer. She kind of got that look, but let them tell it and me quit talking.
Gets into a THC-laced product or a marijuana plant.
Yeah, it probably happens more often than we think. Eva spoke to an animal toxicologist who has the answers.
When state laws started to change and recreational cannabis became more easily accessible in other states, we really started to see an uptick in the number of those types of cases.
That's Anna Brutlock, director at the Pet Poison Helpline, an international helpline staffed by experts in veterinary toxicology. It's based in Minnesota. They help pet owners and vets who have an animal that may have eaten something dangerous by identifying symptoms and outlining a course of action. She says,
Okay, let me, that's one of my part-time jobs is I do the hotline. This is why I'm showing. I volunteer my time, and I'm going to tell you, people don't like when you're frank with them. Like, they'll call me and say that, my cat just ate my pet snake. What's going to happen? And I look it up and I'm like, your cat ain't going to make it. Because the snake is poisonous to the cat and your cat ain't gonna make it. So either you're gonna watch your cat throw up or take it in to get the shot. And people be freaking out. But I get this question about the weed. Like, they be like, hey, my dog done ate my stash. What do I do? I'm like, just let the dog go, play some really cool Parliament Funkadelic, and the dog will be, chilled and shit. But he's like, my dog is running around the house. I'm like, let him outside. Let him run outside in the fresh wind. It won't last forever. He'll be mild. But when you tell the people that their animal ain't gonna make it, they get really pissed. Carrie D, what's happening? And I know you definitely got to have vision. So, people be like my pets be getting around my shit, and I'll be like, hey, you remember what happened to you last time? Because my pets, they get in, they be like meditating and shit. Last time they got my stash, they was in here meditating and shit. They was like, I'm like, but they was the cat kind of that kind of and shit. But I'm like, I feel you. That will make you feel better. But just in case your animal gets in the stash, I might answer. So here you go.
among the top 15 toxins they get calls about is cannabis. Dogs or cats ingesting THC by getting into an edible or a dried marijuana bud.
They can get quite sick, and that can happen certainly within.
I forgot to mention this. My own cats be requesting shotguns. You know, they be like seeing me smoke a joint and shit, and they be like, rear, rear. I be like, what the fuck do you want? And they be wanting the shotgun and shit. So, you know, you just turn the joint over and blow it. Oh, cats, they get to creeping. Be funny how like you can see like, you know, and they be like, ooh, you know, and they be like, oh, that ain't shit. And then after a minute, you could just see the way they be walking and shit, be like really cool walking, you know, like slow motion walking, you know, almost like they don't be walking, you know, like Dave Chappelle where everybody floats in the air. The cats be like walking like that and shit. But okay, I'm sorry. Let's let these poor ladies tell it.
In a couple of hours.
And while she says THC alone is rarely deadly,
to them it actually can be quite scary because they don't know why that's happening. So they might start hiding, they'll start having urine dribbling.
No, you got to tell them that they tripping. That's all. Be like, tell them that they tripping. Now, most of y'all, especially with dogs, if dogs eat your bud, you beat them first, and then you be like, hey, you're going to be tripping. Well, that's what, I don't have a dog, so I've never beat a dog, but I'm just saying I have some friends that like, if the dogs eat their stash, they get the dogs the business. But, you know, just tell the dog, look, you tripping, you're going to be tripping for a little while, and then it's going to be last. But if I ever catch you in my stash again, I'm going to have to mess you up. Yes, most people do hate when you're honest with them. So here we go. Let them tell it some more.
These animals can become extremely comatose. Sometimes we see them becoming very, very anxious, and their heart rate can go up, their blood pressure can go up.
she also says since they'll lose coordination,
it's much more easy for them to fall off the couch or fall down the stairs. So you can have traumatic.
Okay, now let's get this. Let you know, I'm not mean to my cats, but my cats have slipped and literally fell downstairs. I've got like a loft area upstairs and like it's a drop. And the cats fall off that shit all the time. And nothing happens to them. I like, they be fucking around and slip and boom. And I look down at them, they run back upstairs in a matter of moments. So cats can bounce. Dogs can't. But, okay, let them tell it. I'm sorry, I get excited.
Injury on top of a poisoning case as well.
deadly cases are more likely to happen if the animal ingests THC and something else bad for them. Take a weed brownie, for example, which also has chocolate.
That's really, unfortunately kind of a double whammy. And those are the cases that we can really see pretty significant intoxication and fatality in.
So it's important to keep any THC products you may have in a place where your pet can't get to them. And if it does accidentally happen, contact your vet right away. Or
Oh, damn, I don't know, girl. Whoever did your makeup, I'm not feeling that in your hair. Ooh, it's not crispy at all. You are not stiff at all, lady. Golly, you looking kind of raggedy, but let's go.
the Pet Poison Helpline, which is available 24.
And you might get me on the Pet Poison Hotline. They only pay me like $2 a call. They don't pay you by the hour. They pay you by the call. But people, you wouldn't realize how often you'd get calls of people eating, their animals have eaten some stupid shit, and you have to explain to them what's going to happen to the animal. But if the animal ingests any kind of cannabis, just tell the animal, you're going to be tripping. Like, it's really cool to watch cats, because, like, cats be, like, moonwalking and shit. They won't be going nowhere, but they'll just be lifting their legs like they walking somewhere and don't go anywhere. And they, like, you could tell when it really hits them, they be like, they just stay in one spot. And like they hold, like they trampling around the house. These motherfuckers be at one spot, like, just feeling it. El Dragon Amaru Khan, what is happening? And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
So I had to give you that story. Because you never know. Don't let dogs or cats get in your stash. That's why I keep Bud in the glass. And I keep the wax normally in a colder place. Oh, you see, the sun has come out. It's been gloomy and shit, but we had another. Yeah, we had another event here. I don't know what we be having houses blowing up and shit, and again we had fire. But let's let them tell it. Let's let them tell it. Tell us what happened.
Our top story tonight, a young family is recovering after their home went up in flames. 2 adults and 2 toddlers had to be rescued, and tonight that home is a total loss. Babs Santos is live for us in Waconia with what we know. Babs?
Yeah, just in the last half hour, actually, we've gotten an update from HCMC.
Okay, again. Yeah, this is a Macy's shirt. I want to say this is a Tommy shirt. Yeah, definitely a Tommy shirt. So this is a Macy's shirt. He got this at Macy's, or he might have got it at Outlet. The collar does not look new. Why would you be on TV and not wear something that's dry cleaned at least? But last night, again, it was too hot to be dressed like this even last night. But okay, let's let him tell it. Whoops, not Tobe. You don't want to see me. You want to hear him. Tell us.
Father and his 2 children are listed in satisfactory condition after this fire, but the mother remains in critical but stable condition.
When I came outside, the people that live here were kind of sitting over there. I heard them coughing and stuff.
Skylar. Now, as you can tell, this is a poor section of wherever they are. I didn't listen to see, but this is a poor section. This house might not even be over 100,000. This house is not very expensive house. This is a much older house. This house is probably from the 1920s or 30s. I didn't catch where they were. But it's still sad. I mean, this is all they had. They might have not owned the house. They might have been renting this shit. So let's hear it.
We're kind of sitting over there. I heard them coughing and stuff.
Skylar Epps was just up the street at his girlfriend's home after midnight on Wednesday morning as a fire overtook this now ruined home in the 400 block of Orange Street in Waconia. Large flames.
Damn, Waconia look broke like this? Golly. This is in Waconia, huh? They got old-ass houses down there. I've went through Waconia, but I didn't know they had old-ass shit looking like this. So, Waconia is not affluent. Not like I would have thought.
Gripped the exterior of the house, trapping a family. Large flames gripped the exterior of the house, trapping a family of 4 inside in an upstairs bedroom.
It was pretty scary to see. I've never seen something like that close in person.
By the time Skylar got outside to get a closer look, first responders had gotten the family out to safety too. And Skylar couldn't help but record some of what he was seeing.
It was smoky. It was like kind of hurting my chest a little bit standing up there.
Waconia Fire Chief Justin Sorensen says 5 other departments helped his crews get the flames out in less than an hour, rescuing that family through a 2nd-story window, including 2 children, a 1-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl with special needs.
It's always different when it involves kids. And, that just takes it up another notch. And when you hear people trapped, that's the firefighter's worst nightmare to pull up onto that. And,
Now, see, the fire chief has a brand new polo shirt on. He knew he was going to be on TV. Looked like he got a little wig. Yeah, because their hair don't grow way down here. So he's got his wig looking good. His wig, he paid for it. So it's his. It looks good. It's glued in there and they combed it right. Looked like he got a recent cut. So, you don't have to be bummy if you're on TV.
It's up there with, the ones that you're going to remember.
Now, both children and their 31 and 32-year-old mother and father are being treated for smoke inhalation at Hennepin Healthcare.
I hope they make a good recovery, and I hope they get back on their feet.
Right now, this fire is considered accidental, but an exact cause remains under investigation.
Well, and I think I have another feel-good story. Where is it at? That was yesterday. Oh, that's last week. No, I got one more. One more little local funny story. And I don't know if this is local.
Some people like hitting.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh, I'm gonna run that. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Check this out.
The road. Others enjoy being out in the water, but a Duluth businessman's unusual creation combines the best of both of these worlds.
In the most unique way. In tonight's Maury's Stories, Maury Glover shows us a one-of-a-kind watercraft that is part truck and then part boat, but all fun.
Yeah, but we have some pretty exotic equipment.
As the owner of a trucking company, Jeff Foster knows his way around a semi.
It has all the bells and whistles.
But on a sunny summer afternoon on Lake Superior in Duluth,
horns, light turn signals.
He's trading the highway for the waterway.
High beams, low beams.
And giving the term cruise control a whole new meaning.
It's really an amazing piece of equipment.
Man of means by no means. King of the road.
I'm very proud of the boat for a handful of reasons.
Foster's eye-catching creation is a combination of a semi-truck and a pontoon. Unlike a traditional semi, there's no diesel engine under the hood. Only a 90-horsepower outboard motor off the back of the boat, which Foster says handles like a regular pontoon and can reach speeds up to 20 miles per hour.
It's really interesting. It's the most interesting boat we've ever been able to be on.
Foster says he takes his semi-pontoon out for a spin 8 or 9 times a summer. And at first, many people who see it don't know what to make of it.
This is Mississippi. I'll be going a week or two. I'm going to be, yeah, this is out on the Mississippi, I think. Yeah, he's on the big river with this thing. Yeah, this is, I'm pretty sure, the Mississippi. And I'm going to be out on it. One of the in-laws has a boat.
And at first, many people who see it don't know what to make of it.
I literally thought I was going nuts, man. I'm looking down the channel, like...
The seaworthy semi is also a floating photo magnet.
It's unique. It's a semi on the water. I mean, who would have thought?
Making waves wherever it goes.
The first thing you see is their camera up to take a picture. And the second thing, they get closer and everybody's going like this. And, you know, it's a universal signal for truck drivers to honk their horn.
An employee at Foster's company came up with the idea after a video of another big rig pontoon hybrid circulated around the office. It took about 9 months for workers at his body shop to put it together, from the cab and hood from a pair of Peterbilt trucks and an old pontoon boat Foster bought from a friend, all as a team-building exercise for his employees. Foster calls it a Petertoon.
The reason I'm proud of the boat is the people that built it, the care and the precision that went into building it.
Foster says it's been smooth sailing since his Petertoon made its maiden voyage 5 years ago. And he plans...
I stand corrected. This is up in Duluth at Lake Superior. Yeah, that bridge right there, that's Lake Superior. Let's see. Yeah, this bridge right here, he's up in Lake Superior. This is Superior. I didn't realize that. This is up in Duluth. So he's got this boat up in, this is Duluth. This is the pier in Duluth. Yeah, because that's their bridge. So that's where he is. So now, what are you talking about? What's going on? And I hope you ain't talking about them aliens, because the aliens in Peru turned out to be people mining, illegal miners. But there is a Peru. Yeah, right here there is. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. see what this brings up. It didn't bring up what I wanted. It did not bring up what I wanted, nor did, wait, maybe this is it. No. It's Peru Safe. It's Peru Safe. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, something attacking people. Yeah, that's that. The people was originally saying it was aliens, but it actually was illegal miners. It was gold miners. It was illegal gold miners. Yep. I'll show you. Let me see. So it was, yeah, their attack says they were claimed they were attacked by 7 foot. Let me see this one right here. So it says what they were terrorized for what they thought were armored aliens, but a recent investigation by the local prosecutor's office revealed that men were actually legal miners seeking to sow terror among the tribes while they, took their gold. The group launched nightly attacks on the villagers in Altanansi. I think that's here. I was reading that. Altanansi. And so I'm seeing if they had any pictures. But yeah, that's what it is. It's it was them trying to steal gold from the people, and that's why they. But again, it can be real and fake at the same time. So that's what I found. Where is my chapstick? Oh, now I'm striped because it got sunny all of a sudden. You can see the stripes on me. I should have turned the curtains up. Yeah, so I don't know. Again, the aliens ain't even aliens no more. What they're gonna show when they bring this stuff out, as I said it the other night. This is they're predictable. They're gonna bring some humanoid aliens first of all, or it's going to be a bug like Robert Hyland, or it's going to be a type of bug, or we saw that one movie where they made the aliens trees. Remember that? It's going to be something in that range. Because as I've said before, in the micro world could be any kind of different life that could live around. I mean, it's a lot more freer. You wouldn't be bothered. You could observe. Because again, the problem with Star Wars, Star Trek, and all those is they showing you humanoids. Even Predator, it's a humanoid. So that makes you think of if they're humanoids, they're probably somewhere else. They're probably somewhere else or something else. So, and as I said the other night, other day, whenever I said it before, is they're going to say that, we have a common enemy. That's how they do it. They're going to be like, well, this is so-and-so. They're giving us this new technology. We're going to cure some disease, but we got a common enemy out there. We got an enemy. They got an enemy. So I don't know about that. So, but that's how they do it. And that's how it's going to be done through them.
Some families who pay.
Ooh. People got swindled. They paid to get pools in. This is pretty big, and this is scary. And I'm going to say scary for people that's really got bread, and you try to get contractors to do stuff, and this is what they do to you.
Relief this evening.
But there's a long way to go to make all of the families out tens of thousands of dollars whole. The Attorney General secured $1 million plus civil judgment against contractor Charles Workmen following a WCCO investigation. Workmen took money from families and abandoned the work or never started it at all. Now the office is working to collect those funds.
WCCO's Jennifer Merely investigates what it will take to get more money returned.
Kyle Swenson looks out at his backyard.
Literally sit here every night and we're just like, dream of it.
A swimming pool is the goal for his growing family, one they paid contractor Charles Workmen for.
Excavator was parked right here,
but never received.
and he just drove it off.
Getting restitution as part of the judgment ordered against Workmen
It's that daily reminder.
would lighten the stress he carries.
It would resolve everything we're looking for.
The Attorney General's office is working on behalf of victims, families who sacrificed and saved, some who are paying off loans.
You can get a judgment and then you have to collect on that judgment.
So far, Keith Ellison's office has secured what's called loan forgiveness for 2 families. That means they got their money back and no longer have to pay on the loan. Now, they're working on a Maryland-based credit union where they say Workmen sent 3 families.
He referred out how to get financing for these amenities, these pools, and those folks who did it are responsible and have to be held accountable.
Assistant Attorney General Bennett Hartz is working directly with the banks and the families.
The goal is to get people the money that they lost here.
The credit union is pushing back, denying waiving remaining balances or refunding payments. They're still negotiating.
We had it budgeted, but now it's like anything extra is going to be that breaking point.
While families hold on to hope.
Families are saying, we want this federal credit union to do the right thing. You're asking them in the same sense to follow the law.
That's it.
And do the right thing.
Doing the right thing and following the law are the same thing here. It's easy to do both for this bank.
One of the families told us in part, receiving the denial for the loan forgiveness was another hard blow and absolutely heartbreaking, adding the situation caused irreparable damage to our lives that will have lifelong effects and contributed to the decision to sell our home. The Swensons call the pushback another gut punch.
The drain, the emotions, I mean, the tears, the anger, and just the time.
They hope the credit union comes around.
If they don't reconsider it, I mean, that's almost like shame on them.
Jennifer Merely, WCCO News.
Lafayette Federal Credit Union declined to comment. The Attorney General's office is still working on repayments for other families. Workman is facing federal criminal charges. He is scheduled to be in court in October.
He was a powerful GOP donor and political operative, and now he'll be
Sorry, my daughter called me. I talked to her this morning, and yeah. So, now about this pool. Now, this is how they can put a pool in literally in 7 days. They should be able to put your pool in 7 days. I just went through it with my brother-in-law, and they came and dug the hole. They came and laid the concrete, put the soft stuff over it, and they have the kind of, like when you put the pool cover over, you can jump on it and shit. It ain't no thing that goes in. It's a solid pool cover. You know, when they have the pool covered this winter, it's a solid thing that be over there. Like the thing that comes over the pool can take about 300-400 pounds. So it's solid. So, but my point is, you know, when you have bread and this is what's fucked up. When you have bread and you're thinking about doing work to your house, it's motherfuckers that come in there and hate. You know, even though you're helping their company trying to get some work done, it's some people that like this show that would just straight up just cheat you. And it's some people that do shitty work just because who you are and they're jealous of your surroundings and they'll do shitty work because of it. And this is, I can't tell you how many instances I can give you of this. And so, Ah, Dr. Sinister, thank you for joining me. And I know you definitely have to have.
You got to have vision.
And so from the time, they dig the hole out, put the pool in, you treat it, within 2 weeks, you'll be swimming. I think it's 9 or 10 days you should have your pool put in. Because that's what was, like they put their pool in before, like they put the hoop up, they put the volleyball stuff up, and I'm not going to say how much they paid. They paid a grip for that motherfucker because they got a, 20 by, was it 42, something like that? It's like the biggest you can put in there. They got that motherfucker. It's 8 foot deep. So be aware of that. Like, interview people. When you get work done, interview people, especially coming into your motherfucking house. Don't just the first person that sounds good. Look at work, look at references, look at, because a lot of times people they'd be happy to say what work they did. And you talk to people and you see what kind of work they did somewhere else. Because what does the song say? Smiling faces tell lies. And, just be careful. Because people will start hating on you, even though you're generating money for them. A lot of times they'll hate on you. And they'll do shitty work for you. Or they'll do the incomplete work. Or even you can get taken of the money. They don't finish the work. So be aware of that. Be aware of who you let in your crib to do work. Now, I said I falsely accused some people of stealing my shirt that cleaned our vents. I found my shirt. It was knocked down on the floor, but I found it. So they didn't take it. They cleaned all my vents, which you should get done every 4 or 5 years. You should have your, when you get your carpets clean, get your vents clean too. Around the same time, because just getting your carpet clean ain't gonna do you no good if your vents is fucked up. Your vents is blowing shit back onto your carpet. So if you see a little buildup in corners, it's coming from your vents. Like you get your carpets clean and then you still see a little buildup on certain corners, look at your vents. And it doesn't take long. We pay like if anything goes wrong through the gas company, it's something we can get with the gas company, and it's a warranty. So if anything goes wrong with the fireplace, I got a gas fireplace, not just that one. That one's electric. I'm not fronting. That one back there is electric. Anybody knows that. But anyway, you can get, fireplace, stove, refrigerator, air conditioner, hot water heater. So any kind of these things go bad, they'll fix that kind of shit. So, but be aware when you want to do, home improvement, and be on top of that shit. Like, be on top of that shit. Like, every day, make sure something is being done. And if you see from one day to the other, ain't nothing really changed, I start questioning that shit. So, wanted to bring that up because, hate to say it.
Some families who paid for a swimming pool.
Hate to say it, people look at your shit and be like, I was listening to a song, and nigga said he'd wear a Birkin, have a Birkin bag, and make niggas mad. And it's like, why would you wear something that would make people mad? On the other hand, like James Brown said, you do your thing. Do your thing. Oh, damn. Where is this out of? This is here. Yeah, this is here. Damn. Damn, not again. People. All right. You're on TV every day. Look at this suit. This just looks so frumpy on him. Looks so frumpy, and it's old. This suit is old. You can just tell it's an older suit. Oh, it doesn't fit him very well. She's okay. This is nice, what you should be wearing in summer, but this is not acceptable, baby. You're on TV. That's not acceptable. But this is another, messed up story.
A 3-year-old boy is dead after investigators say he got his hands on one of his father's guns.
The Pine County Sheriff's Office responded to a call at a home in Hinckley around 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. Heidi Wigdahl has new details from court documents released today.
This might be an hour or more away. I'm not sure. I'd have to see the other cities to know. I've never been to Hinckley, but this is a ways. This is a ways away, and this is going straight north. Yeah, because what we have to do to go to 94, we have to go north, and then we start going west. And, you know, you'd follow 94. You know, you'd follow 94. I think this is, and then you'd start going west to take 94. So this is probably our way. This is, I mean, if we were playing the game, was it a European or American Indian or a melanated person, you could pretty much tell what it is from where they at. But I'll let them tell it.
The Pine County Sheriff's Office is investigating after they say a toddler found his father's handgun and fatally shot himself in the head. According to court documents, Tuesday around 9 p.m., a Hinckley father called 911 screaming for help, saying his son had shot himself. Deputies responded to the 500 block of 1st Street Southwest and attempted to save the 3-year-old, but he had died.
As you can see, this is very rural area. And this is a small, very small rural area. Why did he had to have a revolver? Why did you have a revolver where a 3-year-old could have access to it? That's what's heartbreaking.
He had died. The father, who is 26, told a Pine County sergeant that he was in the basement of the home with his roommate while his son was upstairs alone. They heard something fall upstairs, followed by a gunshot. The father ran upstairs to his bedroom where he found his son. The search warrant affidavit went on to say that the father had a 9mm handgun in his room, and that was what his son got a hold of. Besides that gun, at the house, deputies seized 5 other guns, including an AR-15 style rifle and a shotgun. I spoke to someone with the Pine County Sheriff's Office. They couldn't say much except that it's an open investigation and it will be sent for review by the county attorney for consideration of charges. The 3-year-old was set to turn 4 at the end of the month.
So, more than likely what happened is he had probably came somewhere from carrying it. And why would you have it hot in your house? A semi-automatic can be at a pretty safe position if you don't put one in the chamber. So why did he have it in the chamber in the house? Why did he even have the magazine in? Or did he have the magazine out and forget to clear? That's kind of what I'm, my processing is why did you have the gun hot in the house? And at least, like, if I have a gun loaded in the house, I'm carrying it around the house. If I have one of the pistols or one of the semi-autos or even the rifle, if it's loaded, I'm walking around the house in it, G.I. Joe style. And when my daughter's here, I had the guns in the safes. When she's not here, I'm a little more, I had the guns around. But when she's here, I had the guns in the safe. So, and like when I carry them, when I come in the house, I put the locks on them. I take the the semi-auto, I take out the magazine, I clear it. I empty the revolvers. I mean, this should never happen. And like, I even look at, like, maybe, my girl gets depressed one day. I don't even like leaving access to her like that. Because you just never know. So you got to be responsible. And, I'm pro-gun. Everybody knows that. But you have to be responsible. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row. A story last week and a story this week. 12-year-old boy, that 12-year-old boy got killed this week. He got killed Sunday morning. That's right. He got killed this week. And that guy left a 12 and a 14-year-old in the room with a loaded gun. And the boys obviously must have known he had it. And they looked around and stuff and found it, and one boy shot the other. But a 3-year-old, the gun is useless if you clear it and you take out the magazine. The gun is useless. So why would something like this, it just, I don't care what age you are, you have to be responsible. And this feeds into the people that's trying to take the guns away. This feeds into it. So you have to be responsible. And this is something that, like I always make sure they're locked, or I make sure the magazines, you can't access them. So the gun is worthless unless they beat each other upside the head with it. And that's I can't say more serious than that. You got to be serious when it comes to firearms. You have to be totally serious. You have to always think about what could happen. You can't just blindly leave shit and be careless, because that's careless. That's immaturity. Guns is something that takes mature people to do. And I know, we have big cities where the young people are very immature. As I said last week, I got a text I saw, from people posting a young man that got killed in Battle Creek, Michigan. Then my son texts me and says the dude got shot 30 times. What could a young person do that would deserve that? But again, it's young people, and the young people don't value life. And then you have lack of opportunity, corruption. And like, this is a generation that is the most thinnest skinned generation ever. So like, people say something about another person, they want to kill them over it. The last fight my son got in, he just said something to some people. And again, he just called some people some bitches because he was drunk. And it was probably people looking to fight anyway. And he didn't look at the situation. He didn't look at the strengths of his group and the numbers. I mean, you ain't going in there 15, 20 deep. You go in there 4 or 5 deep, and all the dudes is little but you, and you with a woman, couple women. That ain't the time to scuffle. Assess. You got to assess the situation. That's the word I was looking for. You got to look at the situation that's around you. Because life can just blinking of an eye. Anybody been in a car crash, you know how quick you can go from being okay to, getting hurt. And so being young and being careless and reckless, you see how dangerous it is in these days. It's very dangerous these days. So if you value your life, it's best to be mature. And that's, I get in with my son. It's like, you get to drinking and you lose it. Because he's a lot like his mother. He drinks to get drunk instead of drinking to have a good time. Or actually finding a drink that you like. And that was the one fatal flaw I saw about my ex-wife. It's like, from the time we met, and she was young, she never learned how to just socially drink. I mean, she's suffering from diabetes tonight now, but I mean, for a while, she was knocking down. When she'd go out on the weekend, she'd drink a fucking fifth of something. And that was like her norm. And people forget there's a lot of sugar in alcohol. And so you see a lot of people getting diabetes, and they alcohol drinkers. And think about it. You drink alcohol and then you mix something with the alcohol. You've got a triple dose of sugar. You got the alcohol that's full of sugar, and then you done mixed it with a sugary drink. I don't drink soda. I haven't drank soda 5-6 years at least. 5 or 6 years at least, I have not drank a soda. None of that shit. Not sugar-free, not regular. I don't drink that shit. I quit that shit like in 15, 16 maybe. I only drink lemonade if it's just lemon. I don't drink lemonade sweetened. When I drink tea, if it's got lemonade in it, I only want real lemonade. I don't want sweetened lemonade. So, hey, Bishop Mac Bone, what's happening? Because I know. And I know you somebody that's always controlling your...
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
I know he always controls his, and he's definitely got to have...
Got to have vision.
So those stories like that are heartbreaking. You know, that kind of thing is heartbreaking. New Haven correction officers accused of smuggling in narcotics. How else do you think they get it in there? What was
some families who paid for a swimming pool? They
had that show about the mayor of, I forget, but it just showed the corruption because it was like the mayor of Pelican Bay or some shit it was called. And anyway, what it would show is prison life, you know, and people profiting off living by the prison. So and so, you know, they want to continue that because it's easier to deal with prisoners if they're high. So why would they not want them high? I mean, it's a whole different business in there. So, oh, how long have I been going? I've been going on over an hour. Wow. The movie's not till 7. Oh shit, the movie's at 7:40. So I'm gonna go another 15, 20 minutes, and I'm going to the movies. Yeah, it's a lot of shit in the world that I don't really care about. That niggas care about that I don't care about. I mean, it's just, I don't know, you get older, you don't care about young nigga shit, I guess. And you see things for what they really are. This is, yeah, right here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna show this. It's a point where I'm going to show this. And then I've got a little commentary after I show this.
Year history, a woman is leading the Urban League Twin Cities.
Pittsburgh native Marquita Stevens now serves as CEO and president of the Civil Rights Organization. And as Reg Chapman reports, she is thinking outside the box when it comes to overcoming disparities.
For Marquita Stevens, being the first woman to serve as president and CEO of the Urban League Twin Cities is a proud moment in her career, but she is focused on the work ahead.
And I'll say this. Regardless of the Urban League being another arm of the Boule, they do some good community work. And I'll tell you my own experience, how they helped me. So when I was first getting divorced, I was working. And I couldn't get a free lawyer because they said I was working. I couldn't afford, you know, I made too much money to get a free lawyer. So when I got laid off, even before I got laid off, what I found out is the Urban League you could make 45 minutes appointments with lawyers. And I met for 3 weeks in a row, I met with these lawyers. I took all my paperwork in and they gave me 45 minutes worth of game. And so when I got laid off, I was able to get a free lawyer. And then I already had everything in line pretty much. It was like, oh, she's like, you did a lot of homework already. And that's, so they can do good. But this is not what I want to talk about. I got something else.
I'm glad that we're able to celebrate that together in this year, that issue is now behind us.
In front of her, a vision to lead the organization towards its goal of building an equitable society.
And so I've always been involved in community, and I've always been an advocate for the people.
Stevens has more than 20 years working in public service. The former CEO of the African American Adoption Agency led the rebirth of the education division at the Urban League, opening the Center for the Advancement.
Wait a minute. What did they just say? They said African American Adoption. Let's hear that shit again.
Agency led the rebirth of the education division at the Urban League.
Nope. Let's catch that.
The African American Adoption
Yeah.
Former CEO of the African American Adoption Agency led the rebirth of the education division at the Urban League, opening the Center for the Advancement of Black Families and the Community Caring for Its Children program.
So we anchor what we do now in what we did then, and we build on that, and we stay firm to that history as a movement.
Stevens believes she can lead the organization in a direction that creates lasting change.
One of the things that I want to bring to this community is more of a presence in transitional housing.
Traditional and emergency housing right in the community, where other resources like those at North Point can be accessed.
We need to start understanding how discrimination shows up in the AI world. So we're going to take the lead in those kinds of things.
Stevens has been a visionary her entire career, and she...
Wow. Let's play that again.
Kinds of things.
Stevens has been a visionary her...
Nation shows up in the AI world. So we're going to take the lead in those kinds of things.
She said AI discrimination. The MI already wants to discriminate.
Stevens has been a visionary her entire career, and she promises that won't stop. Neither will core services the organization offers.
Employment, housing, education, they're all available.
They're all available. They're all available. I want to show that to show you there's, I've got to be very careful what I say here and the way I say it. So I got to think about this. It's interesting that she brought up again racism, because in some instances, now in mental health, racism can be talked about. It can be a part of mental health that you can say that melanated people, the American Indians, whatever you want to call it, have suffered some mental health from oppression. There's no doubt. But, and what I'm seeing, there are a lot of women, and okay, this is how I can say it without really spilling too much. There are a lot of women in the Twin Cities that are in powerful positions that are sisters. And sadly, and it's not like it's supposed to, and I'm gonna say this, it's not like you're supposed to ignore it, but it's not there all the time. It's not Jim Crow. It's not there all the time. And so, is it necessary to bring it up all the time? Because I see these women in powerful positions bringing this kind of stuff up, and I'm thinking, this is not really what your specialty is. So why are you bringing up racism when your specialty is something else? But yet they want to tie it in every time. And if you look at it, it's like, and these sisters, and most of these sisters is liberals. Like, I'm pretty sure that sister I just showed you was liberal too. And so her being liberal, and a lot of these sisters as liberals is bringing these kind of liberal ideas to these powerful positions. And it's not that the racism, discrimination does not still exist, but it's not a constant in every situation. And if you're stuck in it, it keeps everybody else stuck. And so for me, it's like and believe I'm about to quantify. I've been discriminated against in so many kind of ways over again, giving power. You know, a lot of Europeans don't like giving up power, don't like seeing brothers having the power, and then want to justify if you give brothers the power, this is why we didn't want them, because this is the way they behaved. And I've been discriminated against where niggas was like, oh, it was okay. You wasn't really discriminated against, but it's okay. So, just wanted to say that. Snake fell from the sky into Texas woman. She's then attacked by the snake. So the snake falls from the sky on her ass. And then she's attacked by the snake. Man, I saw this out of Detroit. Woman going through divorce, shot down and killed in front of her house. Wow. It's just, what do you say? What do you say? Oh, here's something positive. Here's something positive. Okay. Found a local story that's positive. Here's a positive story about something positive. Oh, I just be having fun with it. Oh, let me turn them on.
This barbershop is inspiring others to open a new chapter.
In this week's Behind the Business, Heidi Wigdahl shows us how it's happening one cut at a time.
It can be hard finding your place.
A little bit off the top, finger length on top.
Jimmy Bynum found his on Lake Street.
In this area, it's always busy. It's like Lake Street traffic from here to St. Paul.
All right, now, to give you some, kind of tell you, Lake Street is the main street on the south side. It runs from the west side all the way to actually it runs all the way to St. Paul. You can technically take Lake Street all the way to St. Paul. This street is probably 10, 15, 20 miles long. This is Lake in Chicago is where, no, it was further down. But Lake is where, no, it was Lake in Chicago is where Floyd got killed. And so there's now, I don't even know if you can drive through there. I think you got to drive around. And so, excuse me for a second.
It's busy every day.
For 23 years, Lake Street has been home to Cuts 2 Barbershop.
Because no matter what you do, you still need Cuts 2.
Jimmy took over the barbershop in 2002. Today, his client is his nephew, Jamie Reese.
This young man here is hard to catch up with. Work, 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 work.
There's been a couple of times where it was an emergency situation. I had to get a haircut somewhere else, and there's nobody that cuts better than him.
Offering cuts and community.
You can be an uncle, a mentor, or educator. It's just for people needing help, especially right now in the area a little bit since the pandemic and everything. You get a lot of people, wandering around and just looking a little lost.
A place still rebuilding following the 2020 riots after George Floyd's murder.
We got vandalized and, windows.
I like this. He went to the outlet, got him some new polo. There he goes. He looks clean, knew he was on TV. You see, this is how you do it. You ain't got to spend a lot of money to look good. But hurry up, because I got to go.
Broken and damages in here and everything. It was enough to where it took us afterwards 7 months to get back up and running.
But Jimmy is no stranger to setbacks.
Someday I'll take over this street.
Something he talks about in his new children's book called Lake Street Jimmy.
I thought about just the kids are dealing with a lot.
The book is based on Jimmy's own dreams.
Conquer Lake Street, unleash your flair.
And how he was able to brush off any barriers.
Yeah, whether I'm going through something or not, I just...
All right. Well, I'm sorry to cut that one short, but I got to go because I'm about to go see the movie. So tomorrow's Friday night. maybe tomorrow afternoon. I don't know if I'm playing pickleball tomorrow. Maybe I'll come on later to do a review of this vampire movie. Who cares? But I gotta go because my lady told me so. No, she's on her way. So this has been Big Eagle Hour. I am your guy, Big Pontiac, coming from Big Eagle Hill here in Burnsville, Minnesota. So